So today my talk, I've discovered in doing this that I'm actually not great, or not brilliant, should I say, at naming my own talk. And my talk is we're all brilliant, but we can't be brilliant alone. And I discovered that that was actually a thesis of approximately 45 minutes, not a 10-minute speech. So we will see how we go with this. Now, as I was researching this, I came up with a definition for brilliance. And it was a lot of dictionaries and a lot of different books and places, but my definition was that someone is brilliant if they're distinguished by being exceptionally talented, clever, or skilled. So how many of you in this room believe, by that definition, that you are brilliant?
All of us.
You've got to put your hand up if you believe it. It's not very many. Of those of you who do believe that you're brilliant, how many of you use your brilliance on a day-to-day basis? Hang on, there's more hands now than there was before. Hands down. My mum is my biggest fan. She thinks I'm brilliant. Of course she would, she's my mum. But the way she brought me up was to actually believe that the brilliant things about me are the things I should spend my time on. They're the things that I should do day in, day out. Even to the point that as she was 8 months pregnant with my brother, probably close to 8.5 if I'm honest, she waddled into the ballet class that I was attending and hating to tell the very, very strict ballet teacher that I shouldn't be doing that class anymore because I didn't like it. The ballet teacher chased us, me as a 5-year-old and my 8.5 month pregnant mother, out of the hall telling her that she should actually keep me there as a form of discipline and that I shouldn't get to choose. So my mum has given me a very high standard to hold to, and so 4.5 years ago, when I was about to have my daughter, I painted a really, really vivid picture of what I wanted her to have in her life. I wanted her to have a brilliant life with brilliant things around her, brilliant people. I wanted to be a brilliant mum, obviously, but I painted this amazing picture for her and for me. You do, don't you? You've got this clean slate of a life in front of you. Who doesn't do that? And as we went along, I discovered that actually I'd maybe overshot just a little bit, and that I couldn't deliver what I'd promised her. So as an ex-project manager, program manager, operations manager, people who do things, create things from nowhere, I turned her into a project and decided that what I needed was a team of people, loads of brilliant people, to create the brilliance for her. Slight problem. I didn't know what I was brilliant at anymore. And every time I asked people, they would also, like the people in this room, not necessarily know what they were brilliant at. So it's this phenomenon of unbrilliance everywhere you looked. But why should we? Why should we know what we're brilliant at? Because actually, we grow up in a world that favours mediocrity. We like standardisation. You're born. You get measured on a chart to see if you're in some kind of percentile. Then you go up a few years and they figure out whether your brain's doing the right kinds of things to hit the standard that some mystical man over there has decided is okay for you. And as you go through school, the same thing happens. As you go through university, the same thing happens. And before you know it, you're marking yourself against a standard that some mystical person out there, the they people, you're marking yourself against that standard. Not against your own standards. You don't even know what your standard is anymore. Exams and competition. And because we're competing against each other, we isolate ourselves. And because we isolate ourselves, we're not collaborating anymore. We've got this kind of nasty competition. So, why does any of this matter? Why does any of it matter? Why do I care that there are brilliant people who know that they are brilliant out there? Anyone think that the way the world is at the moment is like amazing? Is it a little bit broken? Just a little bit? Hands up who thinks we have a world that's ever so slightly broken right now. More hands than brilliant. Okay. And the thing is that brilliant people together create brilliant communities that create brilliant change and brilliant futures. But if none of us actually know we're brilliant, and none of us know how to be brilliant, how does that work? How can we create the brilliant communities and brilliant future if we don't know that we're brilliant? There's a thing in corporate world, which is where I come from, where we do a lot of team building, right? We're all about the team build. We want everyone to work together. But the problem is that there's also a thing in sports psychology and a lot of other sciences that understand and know that if that individual person doesn't understand their own value in the context of that team can never work together. So we have a bit of a problem. We want people to work together, but we need people to know their individual value. So what I've done is I've come up with a little list of things that I did or things that I noticed helped me to figure out what I was brilliant at so that I could create a team not only around my daughter but around other things that I want to change in my world and actually for my clients as well. So here's your list. I'm going to read it for you. So I wrote down a list of all the things that I found easy. So easy that I discounted them. Things that I was like, yeah, it's fine, I'll just do that for you, don't worry about it. Included in that, things I do for others really easily, like no one notices that I've done it, it's just there. I asked others what they thought of the things I did. What was I brilliant at? Some slightly interesting answers, but mostly helpful. I wrote out all of the achievements I've done over my entire lifetime, including ditching geography and the ballet. And I got comfy with the idea that no idea is a new idea, and that I'm actually just a link in the chain. And by being a link in the chain, I'm taking someone else's idea, adding my flavour to it and passing it on. It's nothing to do with me. And I kind of came up with this thing, which was, I'm sure it's someone else's idea, as I've just said, but the idea of something that is brilliant for me is a mixture of something that's uniquely me, so my personality, my quirks, my things, with my best skills. It may be an hour. And then I reflected and I reviewed and I reflected and I reviewed and I kept reflecting and reviewing everything that I do. So to finish, and I'm going to read this because I can. Without knowingly brilliant people, change doesn't happen as quickly or as easily as it might. So please, all of you, go and be brilliant and find some brilliant friends to be brilliant with. Thank you very much.